Peace and blessings, family. I had to put the little ones to bed. Um, so this is one of my YouTube videos that I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna be talking to you about my thrifting journey that I did, and I went and purchased me a bread maker. Now, my children, my family, they eat about 3 loaves of bread a week, hypothetically. So, what I want to do, because I am on my journey to get off of the grid. I want to be somewhat self-sufficient as much as possible. So what I'm going to do is I am getting ready to get all of my stuff together, and I am going to make me some bread. And I would like for you all to join me. All right, here we go. So this is very simple. I am going to get all of my things together. I'm going to make sure that I have this out so that you can see it. Open this up. I've already cleaned it and prepared it. I'm going to make sure that everything is fine. I'm going to take my dish towel and I'm going to just wipe it out one more good time. I don't know what it is. It's not going to be in my food, but I just want to make sure that I re-wipe it. So that's the first thing I want to do. I did clean it prior. It has a little vent there, so let's make sure that the whole pan is cleaned out. And I'm doing this because, like I said, there's a vent right here. And I've been preparing to do this for a couple of days. So it's been sitting and not being used. And this is what we're going to do. Okay, so it says here in the instructions that I read already is that you want to remove your pan here. You want to make sure that it has this kneading paddle in it. And then you want to go ahead and start assembling your ingredients. You want to put your ingredients in. You want to put your ingredients in as they are listed. So I am going to be making some whole wheat bread. And I am going to do a small loaf because this is my first time using this. So I want to not use so much of my resources in making this. And I'll start off with a small loaf and then I'll make a larger loaf maybe tomorrow. So you put the ingredients in, listed in order. And quite surprisingly, you guys, I did not have to use any eggs or milk for this. I was really surprised. So the ingredients for this loaf is whole wheat flour, a cup of water, a tablespoon of margarine or butter softened. It is 2 tablespoons of packed brown sugar, a half tablespoon of active dry yeast. Now, I have a allergy to yeast. I have already taken allergy pills earlier this morning, so I will be handling this far off and I'm going to hold my breath. So we're going to do this, and this is actually the last ingredient that's needed in here. So we're going to go ahead and make sure that we have everything prepared. I am using bread flour. Okay. It is and again, like I said, I just want to use this, and this says it's best for the yeast. And the ingredients that you can use this one or use a flour that has that's made for bread. So what did I just do with all of my measuring cups? And I pray that my thing is still recording because you guys are way up there and I'm down here. I cleaned them and moved them over to the side. So the first thing I want is a cup of water. Just going to go ahead and snap this and put this here. I am going to use my spring water and my cup. And I'm going to go ahead and just add this directly to the cup here because that's what it says. So that's a cup of water. A tablespoon of butter. I already have my butter. It's been sitting so that it could be soft. I'm going to find my tablespoon. Of course, this would be it, right? And let's see how this works out. They should be fairly soft. Right. I'm going to scoop that on off of there like that. Put that back in here. Move that back to the side. It is softened. And I'm just going to use this to scoop it out. Right? I'm going to put this over there so that I can clean it when I'm done. Both of them. Right? And then I am going to use 2 1/3 cup of flour. 2 1/3 cup. One. Just trying to get me a good scoop out of here and pressing this in to where it needs to be pressed. Give me a good scoop off. 2 1/3. A third of a cup. And a third. Next, I am going to get 2 tablespoons of packed brown sugar. I got these clips from the dollar store. They're very handy. You see that? They're very, very handy. 2 tablespoons. 2 tablespoons here of packed brown sugar. So I have my butter over here. Let me just wipe this off. I don't want to cross-contaminate anything. I only have one. I only have one, you guys. I only have one packed. So what I'm doing is I'm scooping, and I'm just using the bag, and I'm packing this in here like that. And then I'm going to dump it out. So it's 2 packed. So you just want to get that in there, and that's packed. Give it a rub so that it's flat. Can you see that? 2. And then I am going to roll this back up. And put my cup back on it. And move it to the side, move it out of my way. And then I am going to use 1 teaspoon of salt. And again, I have already brought out all of my things here. 1 teaspoon. 1 teaspoon of salt. But I'm going to measure that over here. So that overflow. Going to give that a nice little shake here. Tablespoon of salt. Yes. And I am going to use 1.5 teaspoons of regular active dry yeast. So this is regular, it's active dry yeast. Now, they say regular because it could be instant, it could be quick, it could be, there are different varieties of dry yeast. So this is 1.5 teaspoon. So this is 1. Did I just do that? Oh my God, I'm tripping. 1. I just did that for real, didn't I? And a half. I'm gonna clean that out in just a second. Y'all get to see my bloopers. Raw and a half. Y'all get to see that raw. Now let me close this up. And move my ingredients back over to the side. And I'm going to put you all on pause. And I'll come back in just a minute. Let me get this out of here. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. As you can see, I cleaned out the pot. I don't know what made me dump that yeast in there, but because I'm recording, you guys get to see my bloopers firsthand. Now, since I've cleaned that out, I have also had the opportunity to put away all of my supplies and come back with my pot. Nothing has changed. I am now going to insert this according to the instructions. Once I'm done with all of my ingredients, you put it back in the carriage like so. Now, according to this for bread, you go back and all of the instructions are here. You want to activate this by closing the lid back. Then you want to say bread. And then we want to move this selection to whole wheat. We want to select that. We want to say that this is going, because of the timing, is going to be 3 hours and 55 minutes for total. It's going to knead, it's going to rise the yeast twice. It's going to do all of those things. And I don't want to set this on dough only because then it won't cook the bread. So I'm going to select medium. And it automatically goes over to what they call rapid. So we're going to select that. And then I'm going to move this because it's on large loaf. Remember, I only put the ingredients in here for a small loaf. So I'm going to push the arrow to select it. And I'm going to hit select. And I'm going to tell it to start. At the moment, this is now registering to the machine to knead my dough. That's going to mix everything. As you can see, as I opened it, at this point, everything is going around in a circle. So I want to close this and I want to keep it closed. And what I'm going to do is I am going to stop recording and I am going to pick back up in 3 hours and 25 minutes when everything is completely done. Thank you for watching. and come back for part 2 so we can see the outcome of my bread. And let's make sure that our machine actually works, because remember, I got this from the thrift store. Okay? Remember, I'm trying to go off the grid. Peace and blessings, family. Stay tuned.